that's just the general review on my SOP. Please share my videos. Like, you need to share my videos. Please subscribe. Please share to other people. This channel has to grow. Like, it has to grow. Please, all of you new subscribers and all that, thank you so much. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Yes, I know it's been a while, but then this couple of days have really been crazy for me, especially with my laptop, with my phone. If you watched my last video, you would see that I actually had to go and do some viewings of laptops and phones and all that, because this wahala with the Windows laptop, you have too much. Obeni, I no go continue to dey suffer like this. So anyways, especially yesterday and even today as I'm recording this, it's really been crazy. But then I saw that this is one of the most requested videos on my channel, and so yeah, I decided to go ahead and make this video anyways. I actually just woke up, so I said, let me just make this video now. Like, I just had to make it this morning, ganga. So the video, you guys have been requesting for a review of my SOP. You guys want to know what I wrote and how I wrote it, and that kind of stuff. Okay, I got you. Okay, so today I just opened my application form now. I just opened it and yeah, I'm going through it. Let me scroll down to the last part of it, which has my statement of purpose. Oh, yeah. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so I'm going to be diving straight into it right now. So don't mind my face. If it looks dull, don't mind it. I'm just waking up. But I decided to make this video anyways because I've seen a whole lot of, like, half of the comments on my YouTube video is about my SOP. Okay. So my SOP, which was maximum of 600 words. If you do not know, I'm currently on the Erasmus Mundus International Masters in Security, Intelligence, and Strategic Studies. Yes, that's the masters I'm currently undertaking, and I am currently in Glasgow, would be moving to Ireland and then Czech Republic. So this is the SOP I submitted to my consortium. This is the SOP I submitted to my consortium. And then after this review, this does not mean that if you write something similar to this, you're going to get the scholarship. This does not mean so. This is just a disclaimer. I'm just reviewing my own that got me a scholarship place. So don't just say okay, this will get you a place. And no, because I did not say so. I'm just reviewing my own SOP that got me a place. So just to give you a background, so you don't really get confused when I start reading these things, or maybe try to understand or follow or stuff like that. No, just to give you a background, my name is Jennifer Confidence, as you already know, and I'm on the Erasmus Mundus International Master in Security, Intelligence, and Strategic Studies. Yes, and I'm on the Intelligence, Peace Building, and Terrorism pathway. That's why I'm going to Dublin. So because we'll have two pathways. The pathway A is Intelligence, Peace Building, and Terrorism pathway. Then pathway B is the Causes of Conflict pathway, and those people are going to Trento. Trento is in Italy. Yes, so but me, I'm going to Dublin because I'm on the Terrorism pathway. Yeah, so now And also, it's also important I mentioned that I studied international relations and strategic studies at my undergrad. And I also work with an organization, Global Pillars, which is a youth peace network. We believe young people are really vital in ensuring peace across communities. And so we try to equip young people, bring young people into the know of what they should do and how they could contribute to ensuring peace in their communities. Yes, so that's a brief background about me. So let's get straight into my SOP. So, but then, let me put out this disclaimer there. This does not mean that if you follow my instructions, if you follow every single thing I'm going to be saying here, this does not mean that you will get a place on the scholarship. No, they are all different consortiums and all that. So this is just the SOP that got me a place. It might also get you a place, I don't know. So, but then, I believe the advice would be helpful, but it's not the ultimate strategy. Yeah. So let's get straight into it. I hope you learn one or two things. So the first paragraph of my SOP. Now, what's contained in the first paragraph of my SOP? To start, I started with a single sentence that talked about the need for those that just summarized the need for the course to me. So I talked about how the message of peace is very important in the current day situation, and I talked about how those who are trained in professional capacities to foster it at all levels. So you grab, talked about how this is very important. Do not forget, security and the issue of peace goes almost at par. So, and for me, I'm more interested. If you remember, I told you about my peace building pathway, intelligence, peace building, and terrorism pathway. So I'm more interested in the peace building pathway. And so I had to talk about how important peace is in the current day situation, and how those who are trained in professional capacities to foster it, how important they are. That was my first line, my first sentence, just one sentence. That's what I made about it, and the message was clear. Just one sentence, and it's not a long sentence. It's not these linking sentences and no. It's just a sentence that was just a line and let's say quarter, but he went straight. He hit the nail on the head. Yeah. So, and then the next sentence, still in paragraph 1, I talked about my childhood experience of violent conflict. I actually did experience intercommunal conflict as a child twice in my community, between my community and the next. So I talked about that in one single sentence, and how that impacted my life in another single sentence. That's 2 sentences now. Now, I am doing all this because it's 600 words. I need to maximize every space I have. This is because I will be needing the word count later, where I would have to be, giving my point of, why my skills and blah, blah, blah. So here now, I don't need to take so much space. So the first one, I talked about why this program is important to me. Single sentence, not long sentence, a sentence and half. Not even up to half. A sentence and a small. Another one, I went straight into talking about my childhood experience, which was just one single sentence but 2 lines. Do you grab? Now, after talking about my childhood experience, I talked about how my childhood experience, how it motivated me to write a project, my final year project. That's the project that undergraduates write when they're about to graduate from school. That's their research work. I talked about how this my childhood experience motivated in me the interest to write my project on issues of peace and security. So let me also put it here. My undergraduate project was on the renewed agitation for a Biafran state. I graduated in 2017 when the whole Biafra issue was really gang, like it was really the peak of it. 2017 was the peak of it. Like this renewed agitation, 2017 was the peak of it. And so I dived into it at that moment when the issue was really hot. It's still ongoing, but then it's not as hot as 2017. So I talked about how it's my childhood experience motivated me in writing a project on still on the area of peace, on conflict situation. Do you grab? Now see how it's still linking to the course I'm doing. You grab? Okay. And now let me also mention that this project, talking about this project I wrote, it was just one sentence, one line again. Oh, then study, and I went ahead also to talk about how I studied international relations and how I took courses that were related to the program I'm currently studying. So the line I wrote here, let me just read this out. I said, studying international relations and strategic studies, I took courses on peace and conflict resolution. That's one of the courses I took. Peace support and internal security, transborder crimes, humanitarian and refugee studies, human rights, intelligence strategy, amongst others. So I just mentioned the courses I took as an undergraduate. And mentioning this, like just stating that I studied international relations and the courses I took. This was how many lines? One, two, two and a half. This was 2.5 lines. So you see, still trying to maximize space. So I keep that in mind, still trying to maximize space. So still on paragraph 1, I went ahead to talk about how I participated in it's an extracurricular class. Yeah, because it's not a credit bearing class, and it was if you wanted to, you can join. So there's this course I took. I mentioned this in my video on how to write an SOP. Okay, so I would drop the video somewhere up. So I mentioned that I undertook a global understanding course, which is a course geared towards promoting peace and understanding across the world. So I mentioned that a lot of people ask me what's global understanding and all that. Okay, so yeah, that's what the course does. That's what the course is all about. So I'll drop the video to the how to write an SOP up there. So you need to watch it before you even start watching this one. Yes. So I talked about how I undertook the global understanding course in 2013 and 2017 respectively. Now I've seen a lot of people in their SOPs, they will be like, I did this, I did that, I did this. But at the end of the day, like, they're not putting the year, they're not putting enough evidence that it actually happened. Like for me, I put evidence of it happened in 2013 and 2017 respectively. I didn't just stop there. I also went ahead to mention the universities that my department carried out this course with. I mentioned LMSU Russia. I mentioned a school in Algeria. I mentioned a school in the US, amongst others that my school carried out this program with. So these are evidence. I talked about the year 2017 and 2013, and I also mentioned the stakeholders, the other stakeholders. You grab. Now this makes your writing more tangible. If I just said I undertook a global understanding course, that's just it. Like I promoted peace and understanding through a course in English, global understanding. It does not carry too much water. But when you say in 2013, you mention the year, this is more convincing. Like you mention the year, you mention other stakeholders. This is more convincing. It will award you more marks if I'm the one marking it. Do you grab? So that is it for the next sentence. And that sentence, it was 1, 2, 3 lines. It was 3 lines. Yeah. Then I went ahead to also talk about how I'm a member of some associations. You grab. I talked about how I'm a member of some associations and all that. And I also talked about how I took their the online courses of these groups. I also talked about that. Like, there are little things. Okay, so let me just go straight to the point. I talked about how I am a member of Yali Network. So yes, Young African Leaders Initiative. So I talked about how I'm a member of that and how I've taken some of their online courses like understanding elections and civic responsibility. Now, I also talked about how taking this online course was really helpful to me in my campaign against electoral violence. I talked about that. So, to shed more light on this, in 2017, in 2019, January 2019, I volunteered with Vote Not Fight. Vote Not Fight Port Harcourt. They came, two Baba was going around Nigeria, and he was doing all the campaign, Vote Not Fight. Election was coming up in May, Buhari, and all those type of stuff then. So the Vote Not Fight campaign, I volunteered for it January 2019, and I was one of the people that got to register people, more like give people, as they come a soft landing, they had to register themselves and stuff like that. That was it for my first paragraph. It ended with me volunteering for Vote Not Fight in Port Harcourt 2019. So moving on, the next paragraph, I started by talking about I'm the director of a youth peace network, which is committed to building young people as strategic pillars of peace in their communities. I started with that, like I already stated earlier, that this is what I do, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So I talked about that and how we are leveraging on the digital space for advocacy, education, as a way to counter the proliferation of all these radical ideas and all that. So if you don't know, sometimes terrorist groups and radical groups, they utilize, even more now that corona is, that they can't really go out, so they utilize the online space, the internet, to recruit people. So I talk about how my organization is trying to, counter this through the internet space, because we understand that radical groups, terrorist groups utilize this space. So yeah, I talked about that. And then also too, I went ahead to talk about how I've organized conferences, peace conferences, and I talked about the places where I organized these conferences and the years when I organized these conferences and the theme of it. Yes. So also still on paragraph 2, I went ahead to talk about how because my organization has a website and a blog. I talked about how we are engaging young people through these blog writings and through webinars and all of that. Now also, I talked about how leading and founding an organization, how my skills that I've been utilizing in running this organization, in delivering services in this organization, how it will be important during whenever my program is organizing an event. That's the program I'm applying to now. Now, see, I've not gotten there, but I have gained skills by working with my organization in my organization. So now, I went ahead to talk about how the skills I've gained, organizational skills, planning skills, and what have you, like how these skills would be useful during IMSIS events. So IMSIS is the program I'm applying to, International Masters in Security, Intelligence, and Strategic Studies. Yeah, so furthermore, I went ahead, still under the same paragraph, I went ahead to talk about how I served as president of my student association as an undergraduate. I talked about that, how I served as president, and also I went ahead, and that was just like a line and small something. So then I went ahead to talk about how my general dedication and commitment to the association qualified me to be awarded Student of the Year. That's for 2017, Student of the Year. And also, I talked about how I emerged the best graduate for the class of 2020. That's the entire school best graduate for the class of 2020, bagging 5 awards. So talking about serving as president and awards and all that, that was like one, two, three and a half, about roughly 3+ lines. So you see how I'm gradually, managing the lines. And that ended my second paragraph. Again, I went ahead to the next paragraph. That's the third paragraph. Yeah. So I went ahead to my third paragraph, and my third paragraph talked about how I am a now I went ahead to talk about my job, like should I say job or volunteering? Anyone. So now I went ahead to talk about how I was a research assistant in an organization. I was a research assistant, and how being a research assistant, I got to know the use of some data analysis software like Atlas TI and all those other ones there. Yeah, so I talked about that. And then still in this same paragraph, that was okay. This being a research assistant, that was like a line and small something. Moving on, I went ahead to talk about my career aspirations and all that. And then also, and talking about my career aspiration, it was just one line. And then I went forward, still under the same paragraph, to talk about how leading a network, a youth peace network, how I believe that this scholarship would afford me, opportunity, exposure, all those things, them connections, network, to, interface effectively with, now what networks comes with, interface effectively with other professionals and, other leaders, like as I'm growing, like in my growth and in my development, to become whom I said I want to be in my career aspirations. Do you grab? You grab. So I talked about how the scholarship opportunity would afford me that that step to becoming whom I talked about in my career aspiration. That's the sentence. That's the sentence before. See, as I'm just linking them. Yes. So then I went ahead also to talk about how these knowledge, skills, and blah blah blah, all the things I'm going to gain, how it also helped me improve service delivery in my organization. You grab and my other aspirations, other things I want to do, maybe like research writing. Yes, how it will also help me in that. Then, since there are pathway A and pathway B, so I have to justify why I chose pathway A against pathway B. So that is another paragraph altogether. So I told them that I actually expressed that I chose pathway A, and I tried to justify that starting from the first university. I talked about how University of Glasgow offers diverse culture, and there's this program they have, World Changers platform. I talked about how that platform, how I can leverage on it, to promote my organization and stuff like that. And also talked about how my interest in because my pathway B, which is Dublin City University, that's talking about terrorism, peace building, and all that. It has a course in gender and security studies. So, and I'm really interested in issues of gender and all that, and that's part of the areas that my organization is working in. There's this conversation we usually have. We have the online conversation is called Women, Peace and Security. So I told them that I'm particularly interested in this gender and security course because my organization, it's a part of what my organization is working towards, and so I would love to major in that aspect. I also went ahead also to explain that my last university, which is Charles University, it has a research institute, a research center, and that what they offer there, the training they offer there, I can leverage on it to improve in my research writing, because Global Pillars also, we have an aspect which is about research writing, researching into the areas of peace and all that. So it will also help me, and by the time I get to learn from them all the what do they call ourselves, all the great analytical and normative focus of the research institute there. It would help me in my research writing and also improve service delivery at global pillars, because we also focus on research. You get. Okay, so that was the second to the last paragraph. And then finally, so the last paragraph I talked about, I needed to make that one single statement that would stand me out amongst every other applicants. See, after writing all the things you have to write, I always advise people, at the end, close your personal statement, motivation letter, or whatever you call it. Close it with that single statement that will stand you out amongst every other applicant. That's what I always advise people. So my closing paragraph and my closing sentence, I had to make that one single statement that, when they look at it, it stood me out of other applicants. So here I had to say what I represent as an individual, what I represent as a brand, what I represent as an organization. I had to make that statement clear here. That was where I hit the nail on the head finally. After I finished talking all the talk, I did this, I did that, I work with this, these are blah 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 blah, and after putting all the website address, I realize that some people don't usually attach maybe website address. Try to attach maybe one or two, to things you've done, maybe a blog carried you that you did something one certain time, you mention it and then you attach the link. Very important. Back to my gist. So the last statement, I had to make that one single statement. I had to say what I represent as a person, what I represent as a brand, merge it into one single sentence. So I had to make that one single statement, what I represent as a brand. So the question now is, what do you represent as a person, as a brand, as a young professional? What do you represent? What do you represent? And if you say this thing that you represent, does your footsteps actually okay it? What you've done in the past, does it actually say, yes, this is actually what this person represents? So I talked about, I've worked with, I founded an organization. I actually volunteer with an organization as a research assistant. And as a matter of fact, I even just got offered a job with the organization now. So volunteering with the organization and, their research in areas of peace and all that. I studied international relations, my childhood experience of violent conflict, and the growing, how do I even put it safe? The growing need, global need for those in the area of peace education, security professionals and blah, blah, blah. And how, tracing this my footsteps and everything. And I made that statement. And I made the statement. I'm like, see what I represent. I represent this. And after saying that, and I talked about how my desire to contribute to attending to situations related to the issues of peace and security and blah, blah, blah. And then I situated it. I said, in Nigeria. I did not say in the world. I can't do it all over the world. So I situated it and I said, in Nigeria, gangan, I had to situate it. It's like choosing a research topic. You don't just leave it flying. So I've said a whole lot of things and I've done a whole lot of things. But now making that single statement, I had to situate it. And I said, in Nigeria. Starting from the beginning, if you see, I didn't mention Nigeria, so I was talking. So it's like, research, you start from the wide aspect, maybe you're defining something and then you narrow it. So I finished saying all those things and saying talk, peace, security, this, we are working, building young people as this. We are finished talking, and then I now situated it now, and I made it gangan in Nigeria. This is who I represent and my desire to contribute to attending to these situations Oh my God. And I situated it in Nigeria. And I talked about how this is something that sets me apart. And it is the motivation for applying. Okay? Thank you. I ended there. I'm just being very dramatic about it, but then yeah, that's it. And that's what I wrote about my that's just the general review on my SOP. I know a lot of you have been demanding for this and have taken so long, but like I explained earlier, my phone, oh my gosh, my phone and my system has been messing up. So and then do you know how many times this phone has to stop and I have to restart just to ensure that I make this video? But we've come to the end of this video. Please drop your questions, and yes, I'm going to be attending to you. So this is Jennifer. Don't mind, you see my face. I woke up and I'm like, you post questions and demand for a review of my SOP. He chased me from my bed. Like I was seeing it in my dreams. Jennifer, come and review your SOP and things like that. Okay, guys, so thank you for joining me. Yeah. Okay. Okay, guys, thank you for joining me today. Drop your questions, and yeah, your girl is here to respond to you. Please share my videos. Like, you need to share my videos. Please subscribe. Please share to other people. This channel has to grow. Like, it has to grow. Please, all of you new subscribers and all that, thank you so much. And also drop your video suggestions to me, and I'm here for you. I'm still managing till my system arrives. My sister, I don't know why Apple is taking too long. Anyways, thank you. Bye.